Hello. How's it going? How are you all doing? We are live. How about that? Let's turn this on. Get some more light in. Happy October, folks. Let me play with some audio settings here. But hopefully you are doing well. Everything's good. Let's get some background music going. Ooh, yeah, there we go. It's just some vibes. And let me turn this on so I can hear myself. And I'm one of those weird ones that like to monitor my own voice when streaming because I am paranoid some audio might be wrong. But welcome one and all to the stream. Hopefully you are doing well. What's going on today? Well, today it's all about Hacktober. And actually, not just today, it's going to be all week. And not just all week, it's actually going to be all month because Hacktober is October. And Hacktober means doing open source work. And the open source work that we're going to be focusing on and talking about is Redwood. That's what we're going to be doing. Let me try sending out a tweet about this. Hey, it's Hacktober. Means focusing on open source. Means open source. So today we are going to be talking about Redwood.js. Stop by and say hi. Zeal stream today. https://twitch.tv/codingzeal is the URL. And that tweet just went out. And Streamcast Captioner sent a reminder into the stream. So let's do our due diligence and go into Streamcast Captioner and turn on captions for the stream to be further accessible. So let's turn that on, and there we go. Nice. Cool. Just send a message back. So yeah, it is Hacktober, and let's go ahead and present my screen. Share screen. Or share the entire screen. Boom. And let's do picture in picture so we can get the most screen for the buck. That Hacktober banner is massive. That thing is massive. I'm just noticing that. Here, let's see. What happens if I turn it into a scroller? Okay. Hacktober Redwood.js. There we go. Let's turn that on. And like I seem to be like really low on the framing of this camera. there. Working on and doing things live. I'm gonna reduce the volume of this background music. How about that? All right. Okay, cool. So over here at Zeal, as part of so yeah, sorry, we're coordinating on doing a blog post, but over here at Zeal, we have we're actually focusing on doing for Hacktoberfest, working on Redwood.js. So our small company, all on Fridays are all focused on doing some sort of Redwood.js work, either internally for some of the stuff we're working on, or externally as part of some of the open source contributions to Redwood.js, just trying to create some sort of content and stuff like that. So yeah, and actually, so let's go to Redwood.js. And in the discourse are a lovely Jason, that one Jason, in fact, he had posted on the forums that we're going to be doing a Friday focus on Redwood.js. So, and did a call out of anything they would like us to focus on. So they responded as part of the Redwood.js core team of things they would like us to take a look at. So after the demo series recently that I have some, so yeah, so let's take a look at that and see what we can tackle. So let's see. So in the office hours series recently have some posted already example repos, how to make a select field for. So I've started an office hours demo series recently, and I have some post up already with example repos. And so how to make a select field for Prisma enums, Redwood.js, how to handle Prisma unique constraints. Directive. We've been in touch already and excited to collaborate and wanted to share with the community some ideas for posts, examples, and tools. Autocompleting. Using Algolia's autocomplete widget, that's a hard word right there, widget and GraphQL. I have a working example. Pagination with web component controls and offset and cursor-based examples, CRFC. Modal routing, CRFC, route transitions, make a generator that takes Swagger, Open API, JSON Schema API documentation, and build out STL queries and mutation and services to consume the API. That is interesting one. How to upload with Redwood.js. There are so many ways: S3, signed, URL, file stack, super-based storage. What are some patterns to use? Some patterns to use consistently. Switch to use GraphQL Armor for GraphQL security defaults. Remove depth limit, rate limit, and use their plugin, and why use over existing depth limit plugins, etc. And document how to use Prisma ERD generator and use with Docusaur. Most wishes. Mila search. All right, so let's see what else people are talking. I would have preferred an open source self-hostable solution instead of those like Mila search. Let's see, and that is in reference to. In this demo, I didn't use a Google search service. Use their open source autocomplete widget. Yeah, so just talking about, okay. So these are interesting things we can try to tackle. Let's see. So let's take a look at let's do some scoping and figuring out some stuff and go see where we can go from there. Switch to use GraphQL Armor for security defaults. So let's take a look at GraphQL Armor because this is interesting. I never heard of this. The missing GraphQL security layer for Apollo GraphQL and Yoga and slash envelope servers. GraphQL Armor is a dead simple yet highly customized security middleware for various GraphQL server engines. So simple content support GraphQL engines. We support the following example in our engines. So Yoga is the one that Redwood actually uses under the hood. So see here for information about compatibility. Okay, so getting started. Refer to the example directory, specific examples such as Nest.js, Apollo server. Okay, so GraphQL Yoga is what's being used, so. Getting started with configuration. Provided values are the default values. This section describes how to configure each plugin individually. The comment that GraphQL security remove depth limit, rate limit in their plugins, and why use over existing depth. Oh, okay. Why use? So the why use is a little subjective, I think, because you know I think it's simple. But the why use is, I feel like, a little bit more a core team thing. I mean, it's definitely simpler. This one could be an interesting one to dive into. Should use GraphQL Armor. So I am curious on the Redwood issues if they've already, not the docs, on the GitHub, because they have an issues, they have a board, a project board that they might have in here something. Let's see. The UI for GitHub changed. All right. So let's take so the nice thing about the Redwood.js forums is that, or Redwood.js team, is on their Discord. You can easily reach out to them and contact them through Discord. So let me go ahead and ping them about this specific one. Let's see. Looks like David's not on right now. So David's not on. Let's see if we can find anything. Okay, so I think these are pointing to issues. So let's see if we can go to the issues board. And then in issues, what I will do is then do a search for this call out for GraphQL Armor. Go back. Like that. All right, so nothing. Alrighty, so that means it's just a wish list thing. So that means we can try to just go ahead and get started on this and start doing the research of removing the various plugins. So GraphQL depth limit, rate limit, and use their plugins. So they have depth limit and rate limit plugins. So let's go ahead and try to start doing some development work on Redwood.js. I believe for Zeal, we currently have our own Redwood.js fork. So I will be doing work off of that, if I am not mistaken. Yeah, there it is. It didn't autocomplete, but it was there. Going to remove the banner. Go away. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and open this up in a code space so we can start doing development. So let's go ahead and quote this, and we'll just say, what? Yeah. Apparently I'm not doing the thing correctly. Let's see. I wanna, can I not just quote that? Oh, I need to be logged in, that's why. Right. That could be the reason why I can't quote. Huh. So let's say that we're going to take a look at that one. Cool. So do that. Let's close off that. And we got our Redwood.js VS Code Space up and running. Beautiful. Right now it is currently setting up our environment by doing a yarn install. But we can already get started with the coding. Let's go ahead and open this up in our VS Code insiders, so we're not just stuck in the browser. Open. This I can close out. Hide? Oh, interesting. Hide just freaking. Okay, let's try this again. Open in VS Code. Yes, open. There we go. Wowie, wow. Okay. All right, now we're connecting. Yes. All right, I'm gonna close this out because I don't need that open because it's currently running right here. And I think our environment's running now. Okay, cool. Sure. Let's go ahead and install Babel. Install don't sync. All right, so we have the Redwood.js source code pulled down, and let us begin. Let's begin figuring things out with having configuring it so we can use GraphQL Armor and get rid of using those specific security plugins directly. So the top level package JSON is probably just going to be a lot of like build stuff, a little bit more agnostic to the application. I would honestly expect everything to be under the server configuration stuff. So it would be either under API or API server. Redwood HPC server, and then what's this one right here? And then this one's just /API. So let's see. We should be able to see where the depth limit is. Plug in. All right, let's see. We can cheat a little bit. Let's look for depth. And see if that comes up. It's not coming up. Boom, boom, boom. So this is the folder to configure the build for Redwood.js. I'm actually a little curious. In the official Redwood.js docs, do they actually call out the architecture for the app itself? It might be in the GitHub repo, project configure. That's just to configure the whole project. Contributing. Here we go, packages and frameworks. Infrastructure composed for application UI, including logging, webhooks, authentication, decoders, parsers. Wrap around the popular CLI, code mods, core, forms, GraphQL server. Exposes the functions to build GraphQL API. Provides search context, set envelope plugins, and superchargers. So this might be where we need to take a look because it is the GraphQL stuff. So let's close out these two and close this and this and this. GraphQL server. All right. So we're using envelope. There we go. Oh boy. We found it. We found it. Alrighty. We found where we're going to be focusing our development work in. Very nice. Let's see. So TS configs. Yeah, okay. So in here. So the limit stuff usually, from what I can remember, I've done this before. it's usually a configuration on the server part. Is it on the context? We should be able to easily find it if we find the import for it. See, so we got context on import. So plugins, here we go. So it might be on the plugins. Let's see. Won't be the logger. GraphQL tools, utils. So it's not that. So it's not under plugins. It might be where we merge all the schemas. If I end up not finding it, I will just be doing a string search basically. To find where we import it in. GraphQL handler. This might be where we need to look. So there's envelope filter operation types, GraphQL, and then envelope. Wait, why am I not finding this? Envelope. Yep, depth limit, introspection, use filter. So let's take a look at depth limit here. And what's the depth of the GraphQL selections? Max depth and ignore. So, okay. So this might, hopefully, we found out where we need to go. It's just in this one file, basically. So close others. Let's go ahead and create a new branch. We'll just do it here. Do I have my get checkout shortcut? I do not. Get checkout. And we're going to be doing we're going to call this GraphQL armor. Get checkout dash B. Armor. Close out that. And let's see. Open up to this. Alrighty, so let's get into things. So let's just go ahead and make sure to install GraphQL Armor. And we are installing it under GraphQL Server. And we're adding it as a core dependency. So let's make sure to cd into that section. Cd into graph. So we are cding into packages. GraphQL Server. ls. Okay, so now we do yarn add. Let's see, are we using yarn? I believe we are. Let's double check. Well, because this is okay. Let's double check the docs about adding dependencies. Nothing there. Because I'm wondering if there's like a special way to run the installer, because this is a bundled together application using Yarn. how it works. Roadmap. Okay, yeah. So, all right. So the contribution sections. Let's look at these contribution docs. Why can't I open it at the preview? Hello? Okay. I guess not. All right, let's go to contributing. Oh, this is GraphQL Armor. Whoops. Getting lost in the sauce. Okay, is GitHub experiencing issues? Because I'm not able to load a page here. It's all green for now. Hello? Markdown? Anyone? Hello? Maybe this is the same thing. This looks like it's the same page, honestly. This looks like it's the exact same page. What section is this? Redwood functional. Redwood setup options. So this is the thing I'm trying to like figure out with Lerna. Let's see. Let's invert Lerna and see what happens. Oh wait, we're not in the right directory. Let's go back to CD back, CD back. So yarn Lerna. Thought dependencies were installed, but I guess not. Okay. So Lerna isn't here. So if I do learn okay, so command is required. Okay. So let's see. So we do this. So yarn learner add a single dependency to a matched package, to matched packages. So that is, let's see. So I want to do yarn learner add, and I want to add this package to GraphQL server. Oh, other way around then. Other way around. GraphQL server. No packages were found where GraphQL server can be added. Okay. Packages. So when I did it this way, okay, so let's see. Add module into package, to package, to the packages in the prefix. Install module 1 to module 2 dash scope. Okay, we were close. We were close. So if I do dash scope equals packages GraphQL graphical server, I might need to chop off the. Okay, let's chop off the packages slash. It's like, why can't it find? Because we're in Redwood and there's packages right there, and then it can't find this one. So what was the other alternative that it suggested? So add module 1 packages prefix star. Let's try this. Get rid of the scoping. So weird. It's like, you can't add this, but it's like, yes, I can. No packages found where this can be added, but GraphQL is a package. GRAPHQL server. That's exactly it. Oh, wait, let's do packages. / What other commands can we do with Lerna? How about this? Let's figure out what other commands we could do with Lerna to figure out if we can list out stuff. List local packages. This will answer our question. Ah, it's prepended with Redwood.js. That's why. Okay. So when we scope it to this. What? Huh? Okay. What happens if we do repair? Out of curiosity. Lerna, is that? Okay. Workspace is up to date. What happens if we say info? Okay. I don't get it, because when I list the packages, it finds the package, but then I can't add it to the package. Why is the simplest thing so difficult? All right, let's, if all fails, learn installing dependencies to a specific package. When it comes with the add to install npm dependencies, Profile Learner adds a new dependency to all managed packages. You can scope the add command to individual packages using the scope flag. This will install the dependency only to the package name. Here's a concrete example installing a supercharged string as a dependency to supercharged session. Oops. So we do add scope that's it. Right. So your learner add our escape dot tech blah blah blah, and we scope it dash scope equals to our Redwood.js GraphQL dash server. Now it's there. Okay. Duh. Okay, so now it's added in there. Did it get added to anything else out of curiosity? Let's just double check. It did get added to everything else. That's not exactly what we want though. And our get checkout is not happy. Get status. We have lots of changes in here. Let's do a get checkout and let's reset everything. Okay. So it did work. We just didn't know it worked properly. Because this error that was thrown. So forms is gone. This has that now. Great. Cool. Things make sense now. God. It's always the little things. Great. Let's keep on chugging along. And we are looking at how to set things up. So let's focus on this. So create server. So for GraphQL Yoga, create server, and then we add it to the plugins. Now my extensions are just barely initializing. Nice. I wish that happened sooner. Now I have to wait for my Vim to initialize. Hello? So if we were going to make this change, my Vim plugin is not working for whatever reason. I might have to disable it. So plugins are here. Custom Redwood plugins. Let's see. So where are plugins used at? And then plugins are used by create server, which is the yoga thing. And then based off this, we just add in. So we add in these 3 steps here. Great. Is our extension running? No, it's not. Okay. Well, I guess we are just gonna have to go with not having the Vim extension installed, because it's not working. And we will have to reload our workspace, unfortunately. Okay. So yeah, I already want to use the okay, so we do that, and then in the plugins, we're going to spread out the plugins, whatever protection plugins gives us. So where we did depth limit here, so let's comment out this and do this. Try to find the right nomenclature. Okay. There's two different configurations here. I'm trying to decide which one's which. Because they are almost identical, with the exception, at least this example code's identical. Getting started with configuration. Okay, so I'll assume that this part works. GraphQL ARM is a fully configurable So GraphQL ARM is fully configurable in a per plugin fashion, with a per plugin configuration section for more information about how to configure each plugin separately. Okay. So I'm assuming if we wanted to do the configuration, we would do it this way. After envelope filter operation. I need to install some other stuff later. So let's chop this off because we need to move this after the import. And depth limit options. So we would want to move this closer to here. I feel like. And if we were doing depth limit options, it would be this. Can't find modules or its corresponding type declaration. Let's try doing another yarn install. Let's see if that works. Why did not save? I was like trying to do something weird. Love to see the stream alive. How's it going, Trevor? It's a bit. I was so focused I didn't even see the chat. The corresponding type declaration. Let's see, learn a install package between install dependencies and space package. We already did that. Can I just do like learn a yarn learn a install? I don't know. That's a shot in the dark. I don't even know if that's a command. Getting started. So we have the different packages. We'll generate learn a JSON. All the projects workers probably reference each other so they can now be built. Yarn run learner run build. Maybe that's it. So yarn learner build run build run. Whoops. Good thing we're running this in a container. Running any command right now. Execute tasks every time when the you can fix by adding configuration. So hopefully building it is going to just like do stuff. Hey. Well, it's initializing everything. The API server failed. Okay, alrighty then. So here we are with the envelope. Let's see if envelope has any hinter. So we can pass in the configuration. So I think the configuration is basically this that we're going to be passing in. This cost limit. We are short a thingy-mablobber. So, and cost limit has a configuration already that we passed in. Fix all auto fixable stuff. So right here is the max cost, max depth. Okay, so here, ooh, we got a little autocomplete here. Max cost, depth cost factor, scalar cost factor. So cost limit we're trying to do depth limit. So let's take a look at, so we're not doing cost, we're doing depth. So let's take a look at the documentation for this and depth limit. Here we go. So depth limit. So we'll replace cost with depth. And we're already getting a nice like This plugin is enabled by default. Limit the depth of the document. So how can we limit the depth of this document? Ignore introspection. So I'm assuming N is the depth, right? That's like very much programmatic annotation. So we'd be using the existing depth limit option. So if a depth limit option exists, we'd be using the max depth. If not, we'll default that to 10. Callback for renews. When rejected, do you want to throw an error or do nothing? Propagate error. The other thing is right here is ignore. Let's look at the documentation for the old school depth limit that we have installed. So let's take a look. So we're using envelope depth limit. So let's try to align the way this is expected to run. npm io. Let's not do that. npm.js. So that. Go to the documentation. Okay. All right. Future work. Okay, so documentation. So max depth is the number. The max number allowed. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Ignore. Stops recursive depth check based on field name. Either a string or a function that returns a boolean. So stops recursive depth check based on a field name. And let's check over yonder. Over here, we just had an ignore. All right, so depth limit. So it's on by default. So you can't ignore certain queries. So with the existing GraphQL depth limit, stops recursive depth checking based on a field name, either a string. So you can specify what you want to ignore, but in the GraphQL Armor implementation, it looks like you can't specify rules to ignore. That was kind of blew up my mic right there. So we can't. So we can have N, we can have ignore introspection, and then And it's either, yeah. So depth limit options is different now. So all we can decide on if we want this enabled. So enabled. Depth limit options, enabled, true. So that is already the departure of this. So let's add a to-do. No longer ignore limit for certain fields. All right, let's go find depth limit options. Okay, it's finding them. So that's the first thing we'll have to do is we'll have to update the docs for that. So GraphQL MD docs. And these are the version docs. Docs version. And the type. So these two. All right. Let's take a look at the type. GraphQL server functions types. Okay, so this depth limit options came from depth limit. Where's depth limit declared? And this is declared from envelope depth limit, which is not what we're looking for now. Now what we want is the max depth type. Basically this. Let's see if we can go find that. So plugins. So GraphQL Armor config. So in here. And then GraphQL Armor config max depth. Let's see if we can find this. So close that. Nuke that. got max. This is the thing that I am not sure about specifying. Property depth limit options of export interface for using. You mean to retrieve the type property max depth? Let's try that. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Thank you, code hints. So this would be N. Because if we're changing things, we have a whole other typing to do. What we can try to do is do this, where we can still support max depth as a number. Is this going to work for us or no? So if I do max depth here, so it'll still support max depth. So I'm not sure if that's going to be the best approach, because since this is an open source project, people are going to be already configuring things. It would suck. It would be nice. We could just be backwards compatible, at least with max depth. Or just 10. Cool. All right. Next. And that's optional. I believe that makes the key optional. Next is to take a look at depth limit, rate limit. So where is rate limit? Rate limit's not there. This might need to be just completely reconfigured for armor options. Because since you can go ahead and just configure a bunch of stuff, alias limit, field suggestions, cost limit. I think cost limit is technically rate limit. This plugin is enabled by default and analyzes incoming GraphQL queries and applies a cost analysis algorithm to prevent resource overload by blocking too expensive requests. DOS attack. Attempts. The cost consumption is quite simple and naive at the moment, but there are plans to make it evolve toward an extensive plugin with many features. So I think the cost limit is the rate limit. Filter operation, validation, disable introspection. Cost. GraphQL rate limit directive. That's fine. Let's see if we can find rate limit in our project. Let's see, disable introspection. Alias limit. Token limit. It's searching for rate limit, but it's not finding anything. I'm assuming cost limit, because cost limit, so maximum cost of requests before. But this is analyzing a specific cost of a single request. Times cost factor. Let's see. So parser validation, GraphQL armor. So rate limit needs to, if rate limit isn't there, probably it's not finding anything about rate limit. Oh, and now we disconnected from our code space. Working on a project this big apparently is no bueno. Or something was going on that was causing the extension host to keep on disconnecting. Let's just reload the window then. Okay, reloading it actually made things work again. Let's see. Nope. Oh, here we go. Now our search is working. Wow. Okay, what guide is this? Create and develop and run serverless functions. This is under version 3.2. Let's try to find a non-versioned one. Okay, found the non-version ones. So this one is serverless functions, and then this one was app configuration. So let's go to the official docs and take a look at configurations. Which, is it this one? No, it's contributing. App configuration, here we go. How to configure and specify plugin for API side. So let's say you want to compress payloads and rate limit your API. You can leverage to specify ecosystem plugins. Here we configure compression so that it can handle all requests and compress the response all of that. So this is just a configuration for Fastify for rate limiting. So it's not built in. Okay. All right, so let's start itemizing stuff. So let's make a post. And what we're going to do is try to, can we just quote our entire post? Okay, so let's start taking notes of what's going on so we can get some follow-up. All right. Okay, so let's see. Let's pull this out over here so I don't have to keep on toggling between tabs here. So here's the list of plugins. So we ignore that character limit. So it's default, it enforces the character limit on graphical queries. That must not apply to each whole HTTP body, multi-part. For configuration details, see the README here. Great. Why can't I? What happens if I trust the site? Is that gonna work? Apparently so. So. If I don't trust the site, well, that explains something. That explains something really unusual. So character limit is not a already pre-installed thing. Okay. So character limit's not a pre-installed thing, so enabled by default. So we will by default. So these are notes for ourselves along with the communication I'm going to try to come up with, because for now we're going to start development and start talking about what the heck we're trying to do. So that's enabled by default. Field suggestion, it will prevent suggestion fields in case of erroneous requests. And this is enabled by default. So boop, enabled by default. Oh, character limit's not enabled by default. So character limit global bully. So alias limit. Enabled by default. Okay. Oh, they sorted these alphabetically. Interesting. Okay. So enabled by default is alias limit. Next one is cost limit. That is enabled by default also. A depth limit is enabled by default also. Okay. Directives limit enabled by default. And field suggestions enabled by default. Looks like they're all enabled by default, but let's look at the last one. Token limit is enabled by default. Oh, plugins. Plugins already included, enabled by default. Let's actually do a call out to character limit, since we were originally gonna kind of do that anyway. So yeah, let's just do that. So Graphql comes with several So it comes with several plugins already included and enabled by default. What would get. Okay. In order to configure each plugin, it appears that you can just pass and then the envelope armor constructor an object containing the configuration for one or more of the plugins included inside of it. Inside of it. So it would just be oh, there goes the oh, interesting. So I do have to allow the Adobe experience. Huh. Okay. Let's see. So not under main TS. It would be under server. So this. Okay. So we have that. So so here's a list of Redwood.js events. Configure each plugin. If you're just pass that below constructor and be continuing. What question I have? Okay, so the first question is should we have And then let's see. I want to look at the docs to see exactly how it's called out for configuring depth limits. Okay, so the question is, so the first question I have is how should we allow configuration for each plugin? Should we have each plugin configuration passed in separately, or like we do other plugins? Let's see. The interesting here is max. So yeah, max depth. Never mind. And then let's do. So then doing so would... Oh, I just realized I'm like blocking everything I'm typing out. Well, I guess you could see the preview on the markdown, but whatever. Doing so would make changes, would make the current configurations doing so will make existing like depth limit compatible or should we just nest all configurations under a single property. And pass that blob into let's do another example where we're taking this and what would we call this? Did I accidentally close that thing? Oh no, I didn't. I just moved it to a separate window. Duh. So we do this. We're gonna have to do a little bit of formatting here, just for funsies. Let's do these. Just because the lines are shorter. Do that. Oh, nice. Okay. Doing this and doing this could allow for better compatibility with future versions of GraphQL Armor, since we're just passing big configuration options. And don't without updating or properties. Okay, so that's the first thing I wanted to capture. All right, so the depth limit plugin for GraphQL Armor doesn't allow you to configure doesn't allow you to configure. Yeah, so configure ignoring certain fields like the current depth limit plugin allows. Let's try to do a call out to the depth limit plugin. This is the rate limit plugin. Depth limit plugin, ignore. I guess I can link to that. And let's link. No, that's not linking. Link, paste. So one question I have is how we should allow configuration for each plugin. Should we have each plugin configuration passed separately? Okay, do for other configurations, I didn't. Doing so makes this compatible. Or should we just nest all configurations under a single property? Let's see. Let's see, so limit plugin by default. Show configuration. Depth limit, let's see. Or was the rate limit call out? Rate limiting. Here we go. Thought I saw a guide. Here we go. Link, paste, click. You can just eat past the environment structure. Everything I noticed that jumped out to me is that depth limit plugin for graphical armor doesn't allow you to configure certain fields like the current allows. Sure if that's of any concern. You also know that rate limit plugin, but it doesn't appear to offer a rate limit plugin by default. And also, one question I have is how we should allow configuration for each plugin. Should we have each plugin configuration passed separately like we do for other configurations? Doing so will make existing configuration for plugins like depth limit backwards compatible? Or should we just nest all configurations backwards? Well, I guess backwards. Hold on. So, doing so. Any more? Or should we just nest all configurations under a single property, i.e. armor options? So doing this could allow for easier compatibility with future versions of graphical armor, since we're just passing configuration option. We don't have to worry about updating or removing properties. Okay, let's reply. Alrighty. Okay, so I think with that is a good way to end the stream. We took a look at Redwood.js, we looked at the thing, looked at the asks, did a little research into graphical armor. It looks like configuring it, setting it is going to be pretty easy. It doesn't look like it really clashes with the other plugins that are being used, which is pretty cool. Use filter allowed operations. Filter introspection. Yeah, it looks like the only thing it's going to replace is depth limit, but then we're going to add in a couple other things, which is alias limit, cost limit, depth limit, directive limit, removing field suggestions, and token limits. So I think that is pretty cool. And I hope we did some good research on all of that. So I am looking forward to getting some nice, solid feedback on this and where to go, because depending, I think it's mostly just having to do with how we want the configuration object to be passed in, because configuring it is really simple. You're just giving it a blob. If there are individual options, then we'll have to configure this and have the typings and stuff like that, and you know, spread the different objects that are passed in as arguments to the function. But if it's just one big blob, we're just throwing it in. That's it. But yeah, so good progress. Good progress. And we'll get feedback in the next couple days. And next Friday, we will work on implementing said feedback. Okay? Good stuff. Alrighty. So I will talk to y'all later. I will see you on most likely Friday of next week. So happy Hacktoberfest, everyone. I will see you next time. Peace.